Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and today I beat my top score in Tetris. I got like 10 million points, and that's not me being hyperbolic. Literal 10 million points. How they added up, I couldn't tell you. I played for like 80 minutes straight. I love Tetris. I was Tetrisized from the first night I ever played Tetris. Rented it with a friend. He spent the night, like, this is when I was in high school, and it was on the NES, right? That Tetris game, and I remember closing my eyes and just seeing the Tetris blocks fall. And since then, I've been addicted. I cannot move 2 feet in this house without having a Tetris game somewhere within reach. Not the original Game Boy here, but, you know, I love, this is my favorite Game Boy ever, the GBA, this specific clamshell design, because it's compact. I don't, see, this is the funny thing. For phones, I like the flat phones, but for my Game Boys, I like them when they do that. I like the Pac-Man Game Boy. Why do they call them Pac-Man? Why do they call them flips? They should call them Pacs, you know, because they kind of Pac-Man. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so I played this game. I'm going somewhere with this. I played this game because I downloaded it using the Apple Arcade service. Hang on, let me, speaking of phones, I've got my notifications going nuts over here. Oh, the reason why is because we had a notification go out. Nice! If you go over to our Discord server, you can set up alerts for when we do things, you know, like events on live.pirillo.com. That's this behind me. You can join live.pirillo.com, play video games, do things on the desktop, like, you know, let's say software development or programming. We've had Moss up editing audio right now. Anyway, if you go over to Discord, you can sign up for the calendar appointments, and look at that. TLDR, join in. Because I let everybody know, hey, right around this time of day, I'm going to be geeking out and talking tech, even though we're talking tech 24/7 over there, or can be if you join us. So I played the game on Apple Arcade on my Mac. I know everyone's like, what? Yeah, like, I played it on the Mac. I got the Apple Arcade service, even though I kind of put it away for a while, because I'm sitting here at my desk anyway, and when I have a chance to play a game, I just want to pick up a controller and then go. And they have a Tetris game currently, Tetris Beat, on the Apple Arcade. They've got a few other games, casual games that are, again, easy to pick up and put down. I use my Xbox controller, the Darth Vader Xbox controller, as you can imagine. Shock! That's the reason I like using it. Of course, you could use a PS controller, and at some point, maybe even the Stadia controller, if that hasn't already been enabled by way of Bluetooth. Maybe even the Luna controller, maybe. So I play it on the Mac. I play video games on the Mac, and I get good scores. You know, I like playing games on the Mac. It's very simple. It's straightforward. I do play games on the PC as well. I play games on the console, although not as frequently. Games are everywhere. But Apple, of course, has long not been known for being a gaming platform or being optimized for gaming, whatever that means, right? Optimized for gaming. They've got the frameworks. They've got enough hardware. Now they need the developers. So recently, Apple's been courting developers, game developers. They had an event. It wasn't a huge event. You wouldn't have known about it. But they're trying to get game developers on board with developing specifically for the Mac, because I believe, and it may not happen in this generation or the next generation, but Apple is going to further try to position itself as not just a platform for creatives, which it's been for some time, but quite honestly, you can be creative and use Windows as well, but also for people who want to play video games. But for that to happen, those developers have to be on board, and they've got to woo those developers to understand that the power in Apple's hardware, which is ample or more than ample for most of the games that most people might want to play, if not potentially better than the benchmarks may end up being better on Apple's platforms in some respects than what you might find on a Windows PC, depending on the hardware and configuration and cost and all that, blah. So Apple seems to be taking a serious approach, at least at this time, with gaming on the Mac, even though gaming kind of snuck up on them. Like, it came up from behind them and went, boo, ah, you know, because the App Store, and then people were downloading games and then using the iOS device as a gaming machine. They're doing it now. It's big money. Huge gaming, huge money, but not just on the PC. So now Apple wants the taste of that. And I think more than anything, Apple's going to try to position itself as or they would be smart, not to say that they've necessarily thought the same way I have, especially in relation to, you know, Epic Games, but enabling people to better play those titles remotely or in a web-based service, whether we're talking like cloud-based any cloud-based service. I'm just picking one out of there. Amazon Luna, right? Or let's say GeForce Now, whatever. You just pull it down from the cloud, play a game. You can do that on any platform. That's coming. It's not here today, not today, but it's coming. And you're sitting here thinking, no, Chris, there's no way. It's never gonna. It's coming. Mark my words. But not today. And you might have sat there and said years ago, if I said, yeah, at some point in the future, you're never going to own software. I mean, you never really owned software anyway. But like the idea of a physical cartridge or a physical disc or a physical game, it's antiquated. Everything's gone digital. Like you have a code and that's it. You have something in your account, a marker in your account, and that's it. That's the way games are transacted today, and it's likely going to be indefinite. Going back to physical stuff, that's great for collectors, but everybody else, not so much. So Apple, I think, sees the writing on the wall. They know that this is a growth opportunity because otherwise, why would people buy a Mac? What's the reason to buy a Mac?